Hey, welcome back to the channel. I've got over 30 facts for you about Yosemite National Park as of 2023. I've gathered this information from the National Park Service and the O-Ranger guides that you get when you visit the park. And if you're enjoying the music, this music's by Bat925, and I'll provide some links on how to find more of his music. Yosemite was originally created as a forest reserve by President Abraham Lincoln in 1864. And on October the 1st, 1890, it became a national park. Yosemite is located within the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Each year, Yosemite attracts about 4 million visitors to its 5 distinct areas, including Yosemite Valley and Wawona. Yosemite is 747,000 acres large. It's filled with waterfalls, its giant sequoia trees, and its distinctive granite cliffs. Yosemite has an impressive elevation range from down at 1,800 feet to over 13,000 feet, providing a diversity of different climate zones. The lower montane forest zone is 166,000 acres large and begins near the 3,000 feet elevation range. It includes hot, dry summers and cool, moist winters, including snow. And in this zone, it has a diversity of trees, including oak, pine, cedar, and fir trees. And the giant sequoia groves are also found in this vegetation zone. So check this out, just going right there on the rock. All right, I see you. Keep doing your thing. Yosemite Falls is 2,425 feet tall. That's 739 meters, making it the tallest waterfall in North America and number 5 in the world. Yosemite Falls is a combination of the upper Yosemite Fall, the middle Cascades, and the lower Yosemite Fall. Now, where does all this water come from? Well, in Yosemite, most of its precipitation falls as snow that accumulates at above 6,000 or so feet, creating a natural reservoir that releases meltwater throughout the dry seasons. In fact, in late summer, Yosemite Falls can almost completely dry up before the wet season begins in the fall. And then lo and behold, in the spring, all that snow melts and Yosemite Falls generally peaks out in late spring. Yeah, this here is right after a hot day, and this flow is quite impressive. Rising streams and groundwater inundate meadows and bring nutrients and sediments to sustain the biologically rich areas. Amphibians use this period of what's called spring pulse to lay their eggs in these flooded meadows. Now, there are periods of drought, and you can see the effects of some of these forest fires. But not all fires are bad ones, and many trees, such as the giant sequoia, need fire to reproduce. And fire also opens up the forest to allow natural filtered light in, so plants such as the Pacific dogwood can thrive. You may even occasionally see the park officials intentionally doing controlled fires to clear out some of that undergrowth. Drought can also affect other areas of California, and in fact, there's a Hetch Hetchy Reservoir in Yosemite which provides water to San Francisco, as well as even hydroelectric power. If you are finding this information to be interesting and useful, well, please like and subscribe to support this channel. Much appreciated. Another part of Yosemite that can also get dry is Mirror Lake, and it's often referred to as Mirror Meadow in the summer as it dries up and fills with grasses and sandy areas. But this is it in late spring with just flowing with water. There's also Curry Village Lake. No, I'm just kidding. It's just a puddle in the parking lots. And there's Half Dome. Now, speaking of Half Dome, Half Dome is an estimated 87 million years old. I mean, talk about aging well. So where do all these rocks come from? Well, geologists believe that the granite walls of Yosemite were solidified over 5 miles underground until the overlying rock eroded away and exposing the cliffs, such as Half Dome. This is Half Dome during sunrise here, and the elevation of Half Dome is 8,842 feet. It's so tall that even after the sunrise, it still creates a shadow over the valley for quite some time. And eventually, though, the sun does break through, and here's a little time lapse that I shot when we were visiting. If you notice any of those dark streaks near the waterfalls, they're actually caused by lichens, tiny organisms. Natives have been living in the Yosemite area for over 8,000 years, and many cultures have come to live in this valley, and it became to be called the Ahwahnee, hope I'm saying that right, which means gaping mouth-like peace. And by the late 18th century, most of Yosemite was populated by Miwok people and were later joined by other surrounding native people. But as the 1800s brought non-Indian miners to the Sierra Nevadas and also Yosemite, sadly thousands of Miwok people were killed or starved. After 1900, the native population dramatically shrank and the villages were disbanded. Now descendants of Yosemite live throughout the world, and in 1990 about 400 natives still lived in the surrounding county. The Indian village of the Ahwahnee brings to life some of their stories and culture, and it's located at the Valley Visitor Center, and it's open year-round. Here in Yosemite, nature always is undergoing constant change through its rivers, waterfalls, rock falls, and periodic flooding. Because these rock slides can happen at any time, just make sure that you are always aware of your surroundings when you're traveling through the park. It also includes just staying on the trails, because you don't want to dislodge any rocks that can fall, onto the trails underneath. And also, some streams will even change their flow rate as the sun and warmth throughout the day increases snow melt. So some of the streams and trails that were once calm at one point may become unpassable upon the time that you return back to them. So be aware. But beautiful, beautiful views though from some of these trails. In fact, there are over 800 miles of different hiking trails in all of Yosemite, and in the valley alone, there's 12 miles of biking trails. And bikes, you can bring yourselves like we did, or you can rent them at Curry Village or at the Yosemite Village throughout different seasons. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you get to learn a little bit about this wonderful place and experience it yourself. All right, folks, have a good one.